Welcome to the Help for Leaders podcast. I'm Stacey Harris, and I'm passionate about showing leaders the power of communication and how it can transform their organizations, from Fortune 500 boardrooms all the way to brand new startups. As a leader, your actions and your words transform people and your company culture. So join me as I share tips and insights for elevating your leadership abilities as well as your team's performance. Let's dive right in. Welcome back. I'm Stacey Harris. Thank you for joining me for the Help for Leaders podcast. This is the third episode in our series on communication and human behavior. If you haven't listened to our other two, I encourage you to go back and listen to how we handle problems and challenges, people and contacts. Today, we're going to talk about pace and consistency, and we're going to talk about the continuum of the steadiness aspect of DISC. So on one hand, you've got an individual who's extremely steady. On the other end of that spectrum is someone who's dynamic. And so let's talk about how to communicate with pace and consistency. So someone who is extremely steady, they are all about knowing the constraints, knowing the pace. They want a very even pace. They're less assertive individuals. They're all about people. They're all about the team, but in a less assertive way. And they're very much about that steady, stable behavior. You're also going to see someone with a lot of steadiness in their behavioral style, all about consistency. They want to have consistency. They want to know the boundaries. They want to know what they're going to be doing. They can honestly thrive in an environment where they're doing the same thing every day. And that really does provide that stability for that individual. Where someone who's very dynamic, they can do something different all day, every day, and thrive at that pace. They're all about change. They're all about creating new things. And so that individual is very active. They're very flexible. They love change. And so you can fall anywhere in between the steady or the dynamic individual. So let's talk more about that steady leader. So if you're someone leading a team and you're very steady, you're a great listener. You're someone that's all about the team. You're a team player. You love to connect with individuals in that steady, stable environment. But realize if you're leading a team of individuals who are very dynamic, they want a lot of flexibility. They want a lot of opportunity to move around and try new things. And it can be frustrating for someone who's very dynamic to be in that steady situation. So understanding how to communicate with someone who's very dynamic, if you're high steady, can be really beneficial for you as a team leader. I will say that steady individuals are very non-emotional. You have this amazing ability to not emote. You're feeling all of the feelings, but your facial expressions and your body language is very reserved. And so you're not expressing all that's going on internally, and that can be confusing for some individuals who are so used to picking up on different body language. I will say that someone who is very dynamic, you are all about showing and emoting and really giving all of the emotions that are present. And so you're showing emotion, you're all about variety, flexibility, change. That's your preference. That's your tendency. So being aware of your own style, being aware of the style of the team members that you're leading can be really beneficial for you to connect with your team. And so that communication is actually a hit rather than a miss, because so many times we're missing each other, especially in this day and age where we're connecting virtually. I will say for that high steady person, if you're leading a team with lots of steady behavior, don't call them out first to start the meeting. Give them time to process the information before they're going to speak. Even sending out an agenda beforehand can be very helpful so they know what to expect. So they can come prepared, because they feel most successful when they are prepared instead of having to just quickly just come up with a solution or an answer. If you can give them time to think about it, it's going to be so much more thoughtful, so much more engaging, because that person, they're team players. They're great listeners. They want to contribute. So giving them ample time can really be helpful for you as a team leader. If you're leading someone who is a high dynamic on the other end of the spectrum, where they like flexibility, variety, and change, don't make the decision for them on their behalf. Let them be involved in making the decision. That's a big turnoff for someone who's that high dynamic. If they don't have a say, if they don't have an input into the decision-making process, it can be very deflating for that team member. So being aware of that can also be really helpful for you as a team leader. I hope you've gotten some tips out of this episode. If you haven't taken the free work from home assessment yet, I highly encourage you to go online. It's going to be linked in our bio. Take a free assessment. Figure out where you fall. Are you a high steady leader? Maybe you're someone who's very dynamic. Learn your communication style and how it impacts your team. So go online and take that free report today. Hope you'll join us next week as we continue this series on communication and human behavior. Thank you for joining us today. You have the potential to communicate, engage, and lead with significant impact, and my goal is to help you do just that. Whether you're trying to get that next big promotion, scale your small business, or manage a team of thousands, there's always room for growth, and I can help you get there. Go to disc-report.com and find out what style of leader you are by downloading my free ebook on communication. Until next time, lead well and prosper.